I'm Annie.
And I'm Leah.
And this is Lactation Business Coaching with Annie and Leah, where we talk about the smart way to create a compassionate and professional private practice.
Let's dive in.
Well, hey, Leah.
Hey there, Annie. How are you doing?
I'm great. Why are we here today in an off week? This is not our regular podcast time. What is going on?
I'm so excited. I know someone very special to you has joined us today for a special Ask the Expert. Can you tell us?
She sure has. We have decided to do these Ask the Expert bonus episodes to kind of keep your spirits lifted while we're all kind of stuck inside and dealing with stuff. And today we have Amber McCue on our podcast. She's going to be talking about pivoting your in-person business virtual because she's done that in a completely different industry in ours. So I think it's going to be really cool to hear her story and the decisions that they've made very quickly over the last few weeks. So just by way of introduction, Amber McCue went from being a single mom at the age of 18 to owning 2 companies that allow her to work from anywhere, anytime. Amber McCue has a talent for overcoming obstacles and helping others do the same. So true, by the way. Amber is the founder of ambermccue.com, where she consults with small business owners on their growth. She is also the co-founder of Three Boudoir.com and the virtualphotoshoot.com. Amber, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
That's so awesome. I'm excited to learn more about your business and the things that you've done. Can you tell us a little bit about your photography business in general? Because I know that's kind of where your other business grew from. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So the photography business that we have been working in and operating for the last, I think, 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness. It's been a while. And it's been such a joy and is Three Boudoir. So it's photography, empowering photography experiences for women. And it started because my husband was deployed overseas and I grabbed my former model friend, who is now my now business partner and another photographer. And I wanted to send my husband photos overseas. Ooh. And after that shoot, friends were asking like, oh, I've got an anniversary. Oh, looks fun. Just something different to try. Family. And we think this is our business. And I'd been looking for something anyway. I was exploring a few different things. And my business partner and I mean, the beauty and the power of a business partner. We balanced each other's skill sets out. Our mindsets are very well aligned and complementary. And 10 years later, that business is now in 11 cities across the US. And Of course, temporary and long distance relationships with our clients.
That's amazing. What an amazing story. And it's so interesting how our journeys usually stem from our own experiences, our business journeys. And I know a lot of lactation consultants can resonate with that. And It's just so neat that even in other industries, that's kind of how you grew into this amazing business that you have.
It is the story. And you never think, right? I was looking for something and I had experimented and played with a lot of different things. And I had a couple of things that I knew at some point would come to fruition, as they did. But this was just serendipitous.
I love that. I do think hearing, it echoes my own story becoming a lactation consultant, of being like at a crossroads in my life and personally and professionally, and then feeling like this thing kind of fell into my lap and it wasn't what I was looking for, but it has then become the entry point for me to do other things that I've wanted to do, in addition to the fact that I just love being a lactation consultant. And I can tell by talking to you how much, I know you do a million other things, but you still really love the photography side of things. And it's so fun to you. And I bet that was a big reason why you were like, okay, we can't just shut this down because we all have to stay at home. I remember talking to you about how realizing we can't go to these locations. How are we going to sanitize them between shoots? And just, you can't do boudoir photography from 6 feet away. So tell me about the thought process that you and your team went through and the discussions you had when you realized that you were going to take Three Boudoir virtual.
Yes. Well, this is interesting because we went through, I personally went through a season. It felt like a long time. It felt like a full season. It was a couple days. I went through like a shock and a denial and a grieving. And then again, right? I went through that. I was living in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So I truly can run the business, and we can run our business and operate Three Boudoir from anywhere. And I had to go through that shock, grief, denial phase for moving back to the US during this global situation. And then again with the business. So we experienced all those emotions, and we gave ourselves time, our whole team, time to pause and rest and reflect and just experience and feel and mourn what we were going through individually and what our societies are going through around the world. And so as we went through that process and we were thinking, we didn't know, we're like, okay, we're on hold. And then we started brainstorming things. Well, maybe this thing we had thought about in the past called selfie consulting we could do, because look at these photos we took on our phone, but we professionally edited. Like these turned out really cool. So we could show someone how to take their own photos and they could send them in to edit them. And then we percolated on that for a little while. And actually, it was someone in the photography industry who said, guys, I just did a photo shoot by Zoom. I think you could do this. And she created a mini course very quickly and got that out to people. Now, I haven't gone through the mini course. I don't think our team has actually gone through the mini course. We purchased it because we're like, you are brilliant. We're going to support you. And since then, Vogue Italia has done a virtual shoot. Someone shared with me that Demi Lovato called her photographer and said, we got to do something. Let's do a photo shoot. So since then, these other things popped up. But in that space of reflection and pause, we shifted to brainstorm and ideation. And then it became, wait a second. So then we spent a couple of weeks playing around, testing, like, all right, this is working. These look pretty good. Oh my gosh, that's mind blowing. And we pulled in my other sister to set up the websites for us at thevirtualphotoshoot.com. There are a collection of different photo shoot styles now as we made this pivot. But she set up the websites, and as she was designing them, actually her boyfriend / developer was helping her also. And it didn't click that these were all done virtual. And people, as they're looking at the photos, are like, were these really virtual? And when people realize that, yes, these were done through the phone, minds are blown. So we went through this crazy, and really it feels like a whole season, but it's been weeks. I mean, this was happening in the space of weeks. So we went from a lot of uncertainty and just a giant pause to being tremendously in action as a team. So the team mobilized, the team conceived this, and then we reiterated it together and brought it to life very much together.
It sounds like you were diving very quickly into strengths versus making up for not being able to do something. You were more like focusing on what is possible versus how do we make it sort of kind of as good as it in person. You took a totally different tactic.
100%. And then you also look for differentiators, because there are great things about virtual. It's quick. It's easy. You hop on the phone. There's not a lot of prep time. You can be a little bit more casual, or you can be like, there's a lot of flexibility with it. You get your photos back fast. But would we blow these photos up and put them on a wall? Probably not. Like, I'm not going to recommend that. But they're great for a lot of other things. They're great for our social media. I shared with you guys before we hopped on, I'm putting them in my presentations. And there's so many places you can use them quick and easy. And let's face it, as business owners, we need content. We need visuals. Yeah. So it's filling that gap while we can't do photo shoots. But I also see it as something that can augment my in-person photo shoot schedule throughout the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of us are realizing the small pivots that we're doing are actually going to be business additions. And it's this beautiful space that we're having to like ultra perfect it because we have to. And then it just like, oh, we just blossomed into this new thing that now we can all add to our slate of offerings, which is an amazing opportunity for our businesses. And I love how you guys have captured this and taken my big inspiration that I love from what you just said about how y'all pivoted was that this moment of pause. And I think a lot of us in that moment of pause, were thinking not about our businesses at all, but just like you said, grieving and this kind of thing. But it's nice that you guys gave yourself that space. And I think as lactation consultants, I know a lot of us needed that space too, because our work is so intimate. It's so hands-on. I mean, we give so much. And I know you guys too, to like elicit these images, you have to like be giving and your energy. And there was a lot of grief I know I felt thinking, how am I going to capture that over a screen? Like it just like made me tear up thinking these poor families are going to be missing out. And instead giving ourselves this pause, the creative sides were able to open up and realize, oh my gosh, there's so much more to this. But I'm sure in all of this, you had to start thinking, how am I going to get this message out to other people to buy in? Because it doesn't seem like, I mean, when I heard it too, I think Annie posted something and I was like, okay, like, how is that even possible? And I even gave my hesitation when we got on this call. I'm like, no, you don't realize right now I'm sitting in my closet. Like, this might be the best background I have, which is a white sheet. So I was really skeptical. So how have you guys kind of thought through marketing to get the buy-in to have people really want to do this?
Yeah, it's interesting because we've got to show people this is possible. And that's what we don't lean towards. And my marketing approach is not to market features, benefits to start, right? 1 hour shoot, 45 minutes, 10, like whatever it includes. It's to go to the experience. And so we wanted to show people and to talk about the results. This is the result you're going to get. So we're doing lots of mock photo shoots. So we're going to have this inventory and we can fill up the website and we can show people on Instagram. We've got hearty gallery of photos very quickly. And then like, no, I don't believe it. That we were not expecting. We're like, oh, okay, but it's true. We didn't believe it either. So then we're like, all right, we got to layer in the behind the scenes element. But I think, it's one part. Showing people what's possible was part of the marketing in our mindset, but we wanted to have fun with it too. Like we've got some one-liners in the website copy that's like, it's just something to do. Like you're going to want to capture, like, this is the strangest time that so many of us have lived through to date. Hopefully this is as strange as it gets.
Ever gets. Yeah.
Exactly. Knock on wood. And so you may want to capture these memories. So we also played to current events, right? Because I think in our marketing messaging, we want to address what's real and what's happening and meet people where they are. And some of it feels heavy and some of it, like, we've got to be able to laugh at what is happening also. So we tried to pull in all of those elements and we're tweaking it. And we shared as we started to get the message out. Our teams have shared on their social media, like, look what's happening. Look what I just did. Look at this behind the scenes. So bringing those pieces together, and the sharing has been incredible. And the questions have been incredible. And a lot of them are, is this real? Yeah. And then the other thing that comes up is, but not at my place. Like, yeah. I got nothing here. Like, I've got a blank wall behind me. Like, that won't work. But you have no idea. Like, it will blow your minds how amazing. You don't need a lot of space. And sometimes even when there's like bookshelf or there's a lot of stuff on the floor and you're sitting there engaging with your desk, it's messy. That adds character and it adds personality to every single photo. And I think it adds a realness also. And part of our marketing here is the real. Like, this is not a perfectly polished photo. We're virtual. It might get a little grainy. So let that realness come through. And this is complementary to the perfectly polished everything else we may have in our marketing, stock photos, professional photos. This complements that. It doesn't replace it. It augments it.
Gotcha.
I think that's really helpful because especially for in the lactation world, like the stock photos that are available, like you see the same photos everywhere. We're all using the same photos because there just aren't that many.
Oh my
But
gosh.
wouldn't I love to have a photo of me snuggling with my demo boob?
I love it. And you can have some fun with that, some
Yeah.
humor. Like a client who's an accountant was like, I've got axes. Can I leave those in anywhere? And we're just brainstorming like, well, you can put them on a wall. They could be like in the shot. So it'll add this color, like, or you could hold it and do a marketing campaign around like, I will slay your taxes or I will cut your taxes in half. Like, yes, please.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right messaging, but I'll let her decide.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I guess it kind of, when we're thinking about our industry and what our messaging we want to have go out to our clients, it seems like photography could play a huge role. I don't know. I mean, you've been in the photography industry a long time. Can you speak to like how our photography could really impact our branding, could impact our messaging?
Yeah. From a branding perspective, I think photography is hugely powerful because it shows people what's possible. And especially in an intimate experience like this, when we are connecting closely, it shows people, number one, your personality, right? The real, what's really going on there. So people can connect with you on a personal level and identify like, oh, and actually that same client who's an accountant said, I think someone booked me because some of this weird stuff behind me. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly, right? Someone is going to connect with you because of your uniqueness, not because of that stock photo. And then if you can have connection in it, right? If you can show what you're doing, or if you can show products or how to use something, or you connecting with a client, right? Or these overhead shots, you don't even actually have to have faces in it, but you show what's happening. It lets people put themselves in that situation. So I almost think about it as a little bit more lifestyle, but for our business, or action shots for our business, not I'm working at the computer right now, although we do that too, right?
Yeah.
But what am I doing? How can I show people something? So if you think about this and you're thinking, all right, what am I going to shoot? Like, what are we going to do? Yes, get some headshots. Get yourself standing against a blank wall a couple feet away. They'll pose you all out. You don't want to be right up against the wall, but a couple feet away, and get some of that standard stuff, but also get like, okay, make the list of, I could be engaging with my products. I could be writing out paperwork and a follow-up. I could be connecting with a client. I could be holding their baby because this is a thing. Like, this is how they're going to engage with my baby. Oh, now social distancing is a thing right now. So maybe pause on that as we go virtual. But as we think about the future and we think about photography overall, let people see how you will connect and let them put themselves in that photo.
I love that. No,
Okay.
that makes perfect sense. And I really love kind of helping them imagine themselves in this. I think about like when you go to buy a car, what they really want you to do is sit in the car.
Yes.
And when you go to buy a house, what they really want you to do is talk about where your furniture would go. Like that's sales tactics in those two industries. So I'm thinking like for lactation, we really need to focus on helping them visualize themselves getting this service and what that outcome would look like, how they would feel in relation to that. So I love that. And I love your ideas already. I'm like, can I sign up? Please.
All right.
Let's do this.
And you called out something really unique that the real estate industry, for example, how many times do we pick Airbnbs just from the photos? Right? Yeah. Not all the text. First, we're flipping through and looking at photos. We are visual beings, right? Yes, we'll read and we'll do our due diligence and we'll look at features, but like, let's look and what captures us first. It's the book cover that captures us first. It's not the back of the book, right? There's a visual component to this. And this is what photography is for you.
That's so good. And you think about how with a home visit, these people want to picture what it's going to feel like to have this person in my home. But for virtual, as you were talking, I was thinking about how important it is for our clients to see that our energy can come through a screen. So getting those photos that really aren't just like, a lot of us we get headshots for professional speaking, or we do have these great staged home visit photos, but I think we all now really need some, just like what Leah's saying, with our backdrop and just saying here is what it feels like to look at me through your screen.
Yeah. And we're going to jazz it up a little bit. We're going to edit it. We're going to, work a little magic and pose and angles, right? We've got all of those things, which is a huge testament to our team and what Boudoir brings, because it's all twist, turn, all sorts of things. You get a workout in a boudoir shoot. But our team is well experienced in posing and angles and twist, which lends itself so well to this virtual.
Yeah, because you want the images to be attractive. I think that can be so powerful, and just another beautiful way that we can be connecting with our clients and helping them through this time, because they will feel more relaxed if they know that they have these people that seem real and accessible and visually appealing.
Yeah. And if you just scroll through Instagram, for example, and you go to someone you follow, and I did this yesterday because I'm I wanted to confirm native or the real type photos how are they performing? And I was looking at through someone's feed, and okay, perfectly polished post, 300 likes. Okay, super raw post, 900. Just her and her dog hanging out in the yard. All right, cool. Another is same thing. I clicked through many, and over, those that were a little bit more real feeling had much more engagement.
Yeah, I definitely think I'm attracted to those pictures too, because it just makes people seem more accessible and relatable. And I think that's such a great way to help capture our brand, because in the end, we want to attract the people who find us relatable. We want to attract those ideal clients because they're the ones that are going to get the most out of the service that we provide. So I love how this brand photography can really be a huge part of even our industry. I love it. I love when we get industry crossover stuff, things that you don't think are going to be important. It's really true that it just lends to every single industry. And I love it. I love it. So how do people do this, Annie? Help us figure this out.
Well, if you've been listening and you're thinking, I want to get my own virtual photo shoot, you can go to thevirtualphotoshoot.com and you'll see the pictures that Amber's talking about. Get some inspiration of your own. Maybe you want to have a professional do it. Whatever level is going to work for you and your budget right now, but get some photos up there. And we would love for you to share them inside the Lactation Business Coaching community on Patreon and share with the patrons. And let's see what everybody else is doing and help us get this marketing piece in place as we are transitioning to virtual, not just for now, but probably to stay. So thank you so much, Amber, for giving us your time this morning and sharing all these great marketing tips and insights with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you all.
It's been awesome. I really, really appreciate your time and all the insights that we've gained from this. I know it's really going to be so helpful for our audience.
So glad.
Totally. Well, have a great week, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Want to continue the conversation? Join our community and connect with other private practice lactation consultants just like you. We offer support and exclusive member-only content designed to help you create a compassionate and professional private practice. We're all in this together at patreon.com/lactation business coaching. And if you enjoyed today's episode, leave us a review and share it with a friend. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode.